You are listening to the Hood Geniuses podcast with your host, Miss 100. The Hood Geniuses podcast now begins.
Yo, what's good, peoples? This is your host, Ms. 100 of the Hood Geniuses podcast, and this is your first official episode, and it's only right that I have my first guest on here tonight, which she goes by the name of Medinah Starr, one of the illest female rappers from Philly. I'm gonna let her introduce herself. You know what I'm saying?
Well, thank you for that introduction. What's good, people? This is Medinah Starr. Like he said, some people know me, some people don't. I actually ran my own record label. I had a few albums that came out, 3 to be exact. One was a mixtape, one was an EP, and one was my debut album. So, of course, I'm here, and I'm willing and ready to talk about my hip-hop career in Philly hip-hop, and, you know, any questions Ms. 100 want to ask me. And this is not, this is not scripted, so I don't know what he's going to ask me, so I might have to say I decline to answer some questions, but we'll see how it goes.
Nah, this is the Hood Geniuses podcast over here.
Lord.
We don't do that. You know what I'm saying? We just don't do that. Some people know me as Mr. 100. Now I'm Ms. 100. You know what I'm saying? Medinah Starr is actually the first artist I managed. Some may know I was her manager. Some may not know. I was the A&R at Introspect Records. My A&R, her album, her mixtape, Access Immortal. I was the A&R on them projects. If you're not familiar with them, you can Google them. We all on the Google machine, all over the place. But I'm gonna get into what made you want to, be a rapper? I mean, you always was spitting some of the illest bars just without the music. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, so what made me want to be a rapper? When I was younger, well, first of all, I don't like the word rapper. You already know I take issue with that.
MC.
Right. Like, what made me want to be an MC? When I was younger, my family was filled with singers. Everyone in my family could sing. I could write songs. I'm a songwriter. I'm a poet. So it really started off me writing poetry, real political poetry. And when I got a little older, I would say like around 8, 9, 10 years old, I started rapping. And I was really looking up to MC Lyte, Queen Latifah, KRS-One, and Rakim Allah. And the reason why I was looking up to those individuals is because they always had deep lyrical content. So at a very young age, I made up my mind that not only was I going to be an MC and move the crowd, but I was going to say something. I was going to say something that was inspiring or something that was revolutionary. And I was a big Public Enemy fan. I was a big KRS-One fan. And also, I was a big Bucktown, Buckshot Shorty. I was a fan. Now, I know that kind of go against the political stuff, but they were different influences at different times in my life. But it started because I couldn't sing. I was a songwriter and I was a poet, but I couldn't sing. So I started rapping.
Yeah, you know what? I don't think a lot of people know how extensive and rich your musical background is as far as your family members. I don't think people know that one of your family members was part of the Last Poets.
Right. My cousin Suleiman was one of the founding members of the Last Poets. And the people who don't know the Last Poets, they're most known for saying the revolution will not be televised. And I come from a very musical family. We were at family reunions, and I remember my cousins playing the drums. And it was very common at a family reunion for someone to start playing drums and someone to get up there and just start doing spoken word poetry. And at the time, it was either called rap or it was called poetry, depending on what age you were. So the older people said, oh, he's going to kick a little poem. And, you know, the younger people said he about to spit a rhyme. So my family, everybody in my family rapped or they sung. My cousin Terry, he was playing instruments. He was going on tour. The Last Poets, of course, were going on tour. My aunts, like everyone in my family just had a talent. And so I grew up in a very musical family where we learned to appreciate lyrics, melody, cadence. We learned to appreciate those elements of music that I think I would not appreciate if I wasn't raised in this kind of musical family.
Yo, you know, you didn't mention your cousins. You got your cousin Mr. Man from Philly's Most Wanted.
That's right. Mr.
You know,
Man.
I think they was signed with Pharrell,
yeah,
right?
I'm from across the border. So that's my cousin, Mr. Man.
We
H
got
Moneybags.
H Moneybags from Brooklyn.
Yeah, that's my cousin too. He was signed to Rockefeller, and he was part of a group called the Codees, and that's my cousin too. And yeah, like my whole family rap, and I'm not big on name dropping, so like he just had to bring that up because really, it's just like I just kind of
it's not about the name dropping thing.
I don't even remember until somebody say it.
Yeah, but
they just
people need to know these stories. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I'm not saying that it's like, oh, you bragging and you shitting on, you know, people like, you know, but people don't know your ties. You know what I'm saying?
That's how deep the history is. Like my family, we just musical people, and I remember, you know, in the late 90s, you know, the backstage tour. I remember around that time I was actually running around with H Moneybags, and I was backstage at shows, and you know, it was cameras there. I remember, you know, meeting Eve and Dragon. I remember meeting DMX, and you know, just being around certain people. I remember Will Smith.
Hold up though. You just you know, you kind of stunned it a little bit. You threw that, like you said, that regular, like Eve and you know all these people. What happened though? Like when you came across Eve and you seen her spitting on her way up, you know you was also spitting, but you wasn't at the time taking it too serious.
No, I was like more like a cipher MC. Basically, whenever somebody got in a circle, I would get in the circle and I would spit, you know, and I would say my little raps or whatever. But I really wasn't, you know, I wasn't a professional. So I remember when Eve was up and coming, I like respected her a lot because she was from Philly, and of course I'm gonna support any female coming out of Philly because up to that point my people were MC Lyte and Queen Latifah. So somebody coming up from Philly, you know, they saying she a pit bull on a skirt. I'm like, okay, that's what's up. So I remember when it was like people was trying to create beef. Like people were trying to create beef between me and Eve, and it was somebody else. I can't remember her name. It's not Charlie Baltimore, but it was somebody else from Philly that was coming up. And every time it was another female rapper, you know, even though I wasn't taking it seriously at the time, people would try to create beef. So I remember we were, this was after the Rockefeller store the Rockaware store had opened up, and we were all together, and I was with H Moneybags, and you know, Eve was in the vicinity, and she was like rapping and getting all the accolades. People was like, you know, crowding around her, and then the people start trying to hype up like a battle. And you know, at the time I was like, okay, because you know I would battle anybody. That's what backpack rappers do. You know, I was a backpack cipher rapper. But I remember some advice I got given by somebody who had a bigger name than me. You know, they pulled me aside. They said, you know, don't do that. They said because right now, you know, you don't want to battle Eve. You don't want to battle MC Lyte. You don't want to battle anybody who's established and who got songs on the radio, because their fans will automatically, you know, start cheering for them. And, you know, she got peoples here. And, you know, at that time it was Rough Riders and stuff. And it's going to, before you ever drop an album, you're going to be known as the person that lost the battle. So in my mind, I'm like, but I'm hotter than everybody. This is how cocky I was. I'm the hottest. It really didn't matter. And that was like my first taste of what the industry was about. Like, it wasn't just about skill. It was about who you know, who you connected to, and who's going to cheer for you when you open your mouth. Like when you open your mouth, do you got enough people there to go, oh? And at that time, I couldn't even figure out what my rap name was. You know, my rap name had changed 3 times. I was Rubik's, I was Scarlet, I was Medina, and then I was Medinah Starr eventually. But, you know, I had no identity. So that would have been career suicide, like to battle her. But in my mind and in my heart and my soul, I'm like, I know I'm better than her. You know, anybody want me to battle anybody, just bring them to me. And the reason why I thought I was better, right, than everybody at the time is because part of being an MC is you got to have a certain kind of like cockiness. If you don't have that cockiness or that confidence, then you're never gonna get better. Like you got to put yourself in situations where you're actually going against the best. Mm-hmm. And if you're going against the best, it's like sparring. It's lyrical sparring. I remember being in a cypher with Dice Raw. I was in a cypher with Dice Raw, Bahamadia, and Black Thought, like back in the early 90s before they was who they are. And I remember, you know, being places and I thought I was that good. Like it didn't matter that somebody got a song on the radio. It was like I'm that good.
Yeah, because you was battle tested. You know what I'm saying? That's actually something that is lacking now. A lot of these new rappers coming up out of Philly, they not really battle tested as far as with the basics of true MCing. You know what I'm saying? Coming off the top with your bars, actually making sense with your bars, and it wasn't all about gun clapping. You know what I'm saying? Now you just got a bunch of people that'll just throw their songs on SoundCloud, throw it on YouTube, and they, you know, just pay for promo deals and they get on. It's no artist development now, especially here in Philly. I talk about that a lot. It's a lack of artist development. Because it's just some things artists just don't understand. It don't matter how much talent you can have, you still need somebody to harness that talent and project it and put it in the right direction.
Right, because like one thing that I didn't know, I was your 80 bar rapper. Right, I was just like, remember Wu-Tang Clan? Like, remember their songs? It was like no cutoff. Like, you listen to Winter Wars and it'd be like 73.2 bars. Like, that was
beats and rhymes.
That was me. Like, I could just go. But then as I got older, I realized there's an art to making a song. And coming up in my era, a lot of people didn't drop an album. Like, I dropped albums. There is on iTunes. Go to iTunes. Go to Apple Music. Put in Medinah with an H on the end. Starr, STARR. It's 2 R's in the name. So you put that in and my stuff come up. But if you put other people's name in that was coming up when I was coming up, nothing shows up because they only did mixtapes and they only were cypher MCs that had 80 bars.
Yeah, you know what? I wanted to touch on that. When we was doing the Introspect Records thing, I remember us really doing a lot of research. And if you was the first. I ain't gonna say the first, but you was putting out albums and EPs way before anybody in Philly would even thought about doing an album.
Right.
I mean, Gilly the Kid just put out his first official album maybe 2 years ago.
That's true.
And you know what I'm saying?
And that has a lot to do with my mentality, even outside of the music industry. I'm a person who will follow the footsteps of leaders. I'm the person that will cling to somebody that knows more than I know. So in doing that, I came across a few people that worked for Universal. I was dealing with somebody that worked for Universal. I was dealing with this person, and he became like a consultant to me. Then I started dealing with another individual that worked for another major distribution company, and just talking on the phone with them, conversating with them, and what they explained to me is that what you want to do is you want to establish yourself to the point where you can get passive income. So passive income means I'm getting paid, but I'm no longer working for it. Like, I'm creating something that's timeless. I'm putting it out there. It has a number on it, so it can be tracked. My sales can be tracked, and I can get paid for it. So now it's 2016, and I'm still eating off of Beyond Reason. And I don't say that like to brag, but I say that to say that if it's anybody that is doing some things that's bigger than you, shadow that person. Don't try to go up against them. Like, shadow them, find out what they're doing. And that was the best advice I ever was given, because I'm still eating off of albums that dropped in 2007 and dropped in 2008. Crazy thing is people say, oh, I didn't know you used to be a rapper, because now I'm a life coach and I own my own practice. So people say, oh my God, I didn't know you used to be a rapper. And I say, okay, my name was Medinah Starr. Never heard of you, but that's okay.